Hello YouTube, and welcome to part 3 of the handbrake fix adjustment. I didn't think it would get into 3-part video, but on the other hand they are just like 10 to 20 minutes each. They are not super long, at least. Before I start remounting all the stuff on the car, I do want to talk about these small adjustment screws that goes inside of the wheel. So if you come a little bit closer, I'll show you how they work. So this one is complete assembled. The one with the pointy stuff here is what you could call, if this was just a regular screw, the nut. So, and it's right hand threaded. So if you take it like this and get it clockwise, this distance will get longer and effectively make the brake pads even stick at some time, but get tighter and tighter towards the brake disc. So the hard thing about this is just getting that idea. You can barely see this one through the holes. If you take out one of the lug nuts, you can see this pointy stuff. But what you have to figure out when you look inside is on which side it's the thicker, this part, because this one is just going along with the nut here and the screw, because it's so done that you can put this one in any direction. So on the right side of the car it can be sitting like this. You adjust it like this to get it tighter, but on the other side it can be at the same sight direction. So you really have to figure out which way they have put it, because you can have it in any direction. And on top of that, they always stick. This one will probably not work anyhow when you get inside there with your screwdriver, flat-headed screwdriver. Most probably they will just stick. You have to pull off the disc brake and just break everything loose, and when you remount everything you can grease these up, make them work a little bit better. But that's how they look, and they're not that expensive to buy, at least for the newer Mercedes, like the 124 version 124 and the 201. A friend of mine bought one of these. I don't remember, I think it was like 200 Swedish, 20 euro, $20, and that's money well spent if you want a new one, because they can be a pain in the butt to adjust. So let's get back to mounting. This groove, or this pin here, should be sticking out and go into that hole, so we have to fix that too. They seem a bit rough, but that's because the car has been sitting the whole winter. So this will tide up as soon as I start getting to brake a little bit. There. Feels about right for first test ride. If you've seen the other video of me trying out the Kempe weld, you would notice that I had a problem. They have lowered the springs on the car, so they used an angle grinder and grinded into the lower control arm on this side. And I used the Kempe to fix that on that video. And not that surprisingly, it's the same on the other side. Not as bad, but still, I do want to fix that before putting the wheel back on that side. So let's bring out the welder. So now I have adjusted both sides so they kind of pinch, and then I backed it off again so they're gonna roll freely again. This is just a pre-adjustment because when I take the brake first time, the pads will probably settle a little more into the grooves and stuff, so it doesn't say anything really. So just getting it close, pull the handbrake. With some luck I can't move it around by hand at least. check both sides, release the brake, do it again. I don't think it really brakes. What you see here is the wheel nut taken into the mechanical stop. So let's release the brake and tighten it more so it doesn't go as far in the handbrake. So, back to the drawing board. That side works just fine, this side not really. I'm going to take it apart and look if everything in the linkage still looks okay. And if you watched episode 2 of this handbrake job, I have reused, I have changed the version 123 version handbrake wire to fit to this car, and even though it's spot on almost, the wire is still centimeter longer, but I can adjust that by building a little bit of spacer in the lathe to make it work so it will go a little bit more straight when you pull the brake. I don't know if that's the problem, but I can't figure out what's wrong with this side. It was the other side that was trashed when I took it apart, so back to the drawing board. So, one extension made in lathe and a locking pin, since I can't reuse this one. I think I will put a rubber sealing here too so it stays on the back side. Good. Never easy, is it? I made an adapter now I can bring up some pictures of it on the side of the where there's most room. It's super hard to film underneath the car. I have enough time just working my tools under there. It's not enough room, so bringing that camera in is way too much. But I'm rolling pictures of it being done, and it looks better. It looks more straight now when I pull the brake. It doesn't lean on any way, but still this one won't go back as much as it should. So I have been going back and forth with this one and just forcing back the pads, trying to make them work a little bit better. So it's fairly fast to just put it all together again and just try. So let's do that. So there you have it. I think the handbrake is well and good enough right now. I have to adjust it just before going into the MOT, tighten up maybe a little bit, but for now I just want to go for a ride for a few kilometers and just get the pads settled enough. So, but it feels good. Feels like it's working fine now, actually. If you watched episode 1, I think, you saw me using the angle grinder and milling a slot in one of these bolts. I would think that it's much easier for you if you discard one of your screwdrivers and make a slot in that one instead, because you got the advantage that it feels better in your hand, and doing the half movement in sideways at the same time as you're pressing in the spring is much easier with a screwdriver. So I can recommend you to do that instead if you got a screwdriver to spare, or to ruin in this case. So next on, I think I'm going to fix the horn. I got a novelty horn in the front that's not okay on the MOT, so I have to have a regular horn, and next I'm going to measure up every electricity on that and see if I can get that working. So Thanks for watching. See you in another episode. Bye bye.